on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Lowdown here, and I'm back with another Mythical Monday video. Now, let's get straight into it. A very good Mythical Monday matchup I've got for you guys this week, man. And it heads in the welterweight division. A fantastic division over the years, one of the star-studded divisions in boxing. The welterweight division, man, is just unbelievable when you think of some of the names that have come out of there over the last, few years, decades, and so on. You've got the likes of Floyd Mayweather Jr., you've got Thomas Hearns, you've got Felix Trinidad, who I'm going to talk about in this video. You've got Errol Spence, who I'm going to talk about in this video. Oscar De La Hoya. It's just star-studded names throughout. The welterweight division has been a fantastic division over the years. And, it is definitely one of the glamour divisions in boxing. Now, this Mythical Monday matchup video between Felix Trinidad and Errol Spence Jr. is a fascinating one for me. I think that this would have been a brilliant fight. It would have been great energy. It just would have been a fantastic one to remember. And who would have won it? Who would have won it if these two met in their primes? Now, I'll start off with Felix Trinidad, and he was an outstanding fighter. He was a fighter that I watched growing up. I used to love watching Felix Trinidad, man. The energy that he brought to his fights was unbelievable. The crowd were like ferocious in their support for him. Like, they were really used to back him. The Puerto Ricans would come out in force for him, and they really did look at Felix Trinidad. He really had the Puerto Rican fans on lock, man. They showed up and showed out to all of his fights. They made so much noise. They used to chant Tito everywhere he went. And he played up to it. Do you know what I mean? For his credit, he played up to it, and he put it all out there in the ring every time for his fans, man. Felix Trinidad was great to watch. And, very marketable person. He had a great smile, Felix Trinidad. He delivered knockouts. And he showed vulnerabilities as well, because he'd been knocked down himself a few times. He never had the best chin, which show it proved as soon as he moved up to middleweight to fight Bernard Hopkins. But Trinidad was a welterweight for a long time, from the 90s all the way up until the early 2000s. Felix Trinidad reigned at welterweight. He defeated the likes of Obakar, Pernell Whitaker, Oscar De La Hoya. Do you know what I mean? Even though that fight was controversial to a lot of people. Felix Trinidad, he made a lot of defenses of that IBF title. And, he was a fantastic welterweight, a great junior middleweight. And, so it went. I mean, he'll go down in a Hall of Fame for sure. I think he's in there already, actually. But, fantastic fighter Felix Trinidad was. Very accurate with his shots. Not only could he punch very hard, he was very accurate. He had a great left hook, great right hand. He had a good jab when he wanted to use it as well. So this guy, man, not only was he had great accuracy, but his power was deadly. He brought the power up as well. He brought the power up to junior middleweight and even middleweight. He knocked people out at middleweight as well. But Felix Trinidad was a fantastic puncher, man. Ferocious. Do you know what I mean? I remember that fight he had against Mamadou Thiam in 2000 when he really just did put work on his eye. The fighter had to quit. He just couldn't take any more because of the punishment that Felix Trinidad was giving him. He's got some highlight reel knockouts, Felix Trinidad has. I can't emphasize it enough. He was a brilliant fighter. How would he have gotten against Errol Spence, though? Because Errol Spence is this generation's #1 welterweight. He's undefeated. He's got the best resume at welterweight. You look at some of the guys that he's beaten over there, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Do you know what I mean? He went over to Sheffield and defeated Kell Brook to take the IBF belt, which is a fantastic achievement, should I say. Errol Spence, man, he's shown and proved that he's, in terms of resume, I know some of you guys will think that Crawford could be #1 based on, the pound for pound rankings and so on. But as of resume at welterweight, Errol Spence is the #1 guy for now, for sure. Whether he thinks he beats Crawford or not is another thing. But let's just give Errol Spence the credit he deserves, man. He's been a fantastic fighter. He suffered a horrific car crash a couple of years ago. I think it's a couple of years ago now, or it will be a couple of years ago in a few months or so. No one even thought he'd be able to come back from that, to be honest, but he did. He defeated Danny Garcia, looked very good in that. He defeated Mikey Garcia. Do you know what I mean? He beat him very easily. Errol Spence he's a very good fighter, man. Very good fundamentals, solid jab, great body attack. Errol Spence has got. He may not have the one punch knockout power like a Felix Trinidad, or you know what I mean. He doesn't do anything unbelievably well, but he does the fundamentals and the basics very well. And like I said, the body attack, he's probably one of the best body punchers in the game, actually, Errol Spence, should I say, in terms of how he wears you down and then just takes you out. But he's shown that he can go the full 12 rounds as well, like I said. So how would he have been able to get on with Felix Trinidad? Both of them are quite tall. Felix Trinidad was a tall welterweight, and so is Errol Spence. They're both pretty tall. They're both long, lean fighters. So I think that there wouldn't have been much in terms of the height difference between them two. Errol Spence is, like I said, he would have to go to the body and box a very smart fight against against Felix Trinidad, because you wouldn't want to be in his range for too long. But the problem is I don't know how long Errol Spence would have been able to get out of the range of a Felix Trinidad, who's very accurate and always gets to his target, eventually. I mean, to be fair, with Oscar De La Hoya, it went to points. Like I said, many people thought Oscar De La Hoya put on a clinic in that fight and deserved the win. But, Felix Trinidad did get the decision. However, this would be a totally different fight here with Felix Trinidad and Errol Spence. Errol Spence is not that kind of fighter. He doesn't move like Oscar De La Hoya does. He's got the ability to, but that's just not how he fights. I mean, he's even admitted sometimes in fights that he can get bored and he just likes to slug it out. Look at the Sean Porter fight. I mean, I think that he could have won that fight easier, but he wanted to go to war with Sean Porter. If he was to ever do that against Felix Trinidad, then it would only end one way for him, and it wouldn't be very good for him. So all signs for me are thinking that Felix Trinidad will take this fight, man. I think that he might have just got to Errol Spence with his punching power eventually. Is a tough one though, because I do rate Errol Spence very highly. I do think he's got more to his game in terms of his variety and his ability. But yeah, at welterweight, Felix Trinidad was a monster, man. He was one of the best welterweights we've had, just definitely for me growing up. And yeah, it would have been a good fight, very good fight, man. I want to hear your predictions as well in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think about this particular fight, who you've got winning it. But something in me is just telling me that Felix Trinidad would have done it, man. And I hate to pick against Spence because I love watching him. He's one of my favorite guys. But I think that Felix Trinidad would have won this fight, man. But let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Felix Trinidad, as I said, moved up to junior middleweight, had a tremendous fight with Fernando Vargas, one of the best fights I've seen. He had a great fight with him. And, both of them at the time were two young bulls, unbeaten fighters, and he got that win. He had moved up to middleweight. We saw what happened there. And then his career kind of fluctuated after that. After that defeat to Bernard Hopkins, Felix Trinidad wasn't really the same fighter after that. I mean, he did have a few wins, but in terms of his career, the best parts of his career was down at welterweight and junior middleweight for sure. But great fighter. Errol Spence, fantastic fighter. And I hope that he, can recover from this retina injury that he's got. And I hope that we get to see him out there, especially against the likes of Terence Crawford or someone like that. I hope that we can see Errol Spence maybe fight Ugas next year and unify the titles again. And then maybe we might see that undisputed fight with Terence Crawford somewhere down the line. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this fight anyway, man. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below and leave any recommendations for any Mythical Monday videos that you'd like to see from me. Just let me know in the comments and I'll happily do them. But that's this week's Mythical Monday video out the way, guys. I'll catch you on the next video.